If there's one thing I want you to take away from my talk today, it's that direct materials is the single largest area of spend, yet it is the most underserved by procurement software. My name is Spencer, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of LightSource. But before that, I spent most of my career at Tesla, where I helped lead a program called the Model 3, which was Tesla's first mass-market electric car. What I found very quickly was that we were sourcing $30 billion of car parts using spreadsheets and emails, and that just drove me absolutely nuts. Because upstream, the engineering team had the PLM, their system of record, where they stored specs and requirements and CAD designs. And then downstream, we had the ERP, which is the finance team's system of record. And in between, we were stuck with kind of two bad options. One was Excel and email, which is the devil we all know, or we could get a legacy indirect S2P solution and fit a square peg into a round hole. This problem extends beyond Tesla. This is the income statement of Apple. And if we look at it, the single biggest dollar flow through the entire business is direct materials, and it makes SG&A, or indirect, look very small by comparison. When we look at manufacturing businesses like Ford, this dichotomy becomes absolutely extreme, and we can see that direct materials, or COGS, just absolutely dwarfs indirect. This is a consistent problem across virtually every enterprise. We look at the income statements of Walmart, PepsiCo, NVIDIA, Siemens. The story is always the same. Direct materials is by far the largest area of spend, $25 trillion globally, yet, and this is a true fact, 97% of the tech vendors here at DPW are either providing indirect sourcing, automation of the indirect S2P workflow, or intake of indirect. And so that's why we built LightSource. It's a modern operating system for direct materials. It's a full end-to-end ecosystem, including everything from spec storage, BOM management, should-cost modeling, sourcing, award optimization, benchmarking and index tracking, supplier discovery, and more. To solve this enormous challenge, we've assembled a world-class team, including folks like Peter Rijtstra, who led McKinsey's procurement practice for about a decade as a partner there. Idan, our CTO, comes from Google X and Google Research, which is actually the birthplace of the LLM. We serve enterprise customers, Fortune 500 and Global 2000, really successfully. Our ARR is up and to the right, over 200% NRR, so expansion retention. These are actually screenshots from our most recent quarterly board deck, but I've scrubbed the numbers. We're used across 100 countries, and we just recently announced one of the largest Series A financings ever, $33 million at $130 million valuation. You've probably seen us in the press. The New York Stock Exchange says we're on the path toward an IPO. We're recognized by thought leaders and customers alike. And with that, I invite you to join us in our mission to give direct materials the kind of technology that it finally deserves. Thank you.
You see that?
Yeah, on time.
You made it.
Yeah, thank you.
Please join me over here, Spencer, so we can all have a clear view of you while you're getting ready for a Q&A. How you doing?
I feel great. I hope that everybody here listens to their podcasts at 2x speed normally, because then it'll make 3 minutes is tight.
Yes, absolutely. Are you ready, dear members of the jury? All right. Then I'm going to start over here. Do you have a question for Spencer?
First of all, thank you very much for the interesting presentation. You're tackling direct materials, which is usually strictly kept in the hands of buyers. I was wondering whether the role or the capabilities of the buyers need to evolve somehow while adapting your solution.
Yeah, it's a really great question. The short answer is very little. I feel that you can either change people's process or their technology, but not both at once. So what we really do is bridge between the PLM, which is the spec repository. For non-discrete manufacturing, we can be kind of that PLM, storing specifications and requirements, all the way through to the ERP. And so we'll bring to a single table the procurement teams, the finance teams, the quality teams who are doing things like PPAP and APQP, the finance teams managing BOMs, in a single table with the supply base as well. And so they're doing the same kind of work that they're doing typically through spreadsheets and emails, and it's a nightmare. It's like 2,000 emails just to figure out which supplier at what price is the price fair. And so we try to build an enterprise solution that's flexible to the architecture and process that they already use, similar to like a Palantir with a flexible ontology. So yeah, great question.
All right, we have another question over here.
Thanks for the presentation, and your solution looks fantastic.
Thank you.
The question would be, what are the biggest barriers you are facing if you are in contact with big corporates like, maybe let's take Siemens?
It's a very good question. So we actually, I can't actually say. We know Siemens very, very well, and I think there will be an opportunity to work with Siemens. The biggest challenge we face is that people try to shoehorn us into the S2P process. Now, I have a bit of a controversial take. I think S2P has been the greatest detriment, actually, to direct materials making progress in the last 20 years. It was an invented construct, and so when you think about S2P, it ends with P2P, not ERP, which is the indirect system for payments. And so when you have every technology vendor puts the roadmap in the terms of S2P, when Siemens runs an RFP, they're thinking about S2C and P2P. When CPOs are evaluated on their maturity, they think about their S2P maturity. But actually, direct materials doesn't live here at all. We're solving for the 5%, the noise, not the signal, which is the core direct materials management, which looks a lot less like just sourcing and a lot more like supply management as a broader construct. And so I think that's the biggest challenge. When we're put into an RFP process ourselves, we don't check like every box that they're used to, but realistically, we want to try to create a whole new category which is focused on direct materials, which again is not necessarily here at this conference.
Thank you.
Great,
Yeah,
thanks.
great question.
Going back to you, but first I want to go to this side of the jury members.
Yeah.
Take it away.
So I have a question. How does your model handle poor quality or incomplete bill of materials?
Yeah, it's a great question. So it depends a lot. The real answer is it depends a lot on the industry, and we have a great solutions, like a forward deployed model for our implementation team. So half of our business side is all ex-McKinsey folks, and so they will go and work with the customer, help understand, do they have a PLM? How complete is the data? Are they in an NPI cycle where they're releasing drawings all the time or not? And then our system is a technology platform, so we can be flexible to the way that they have different levels of completeness. I don't think we can assume that bill of materials maturity has to be there from day one. And in fact, the system is designed to go from drawings on a napkin all the way through to a full production vehicle. The software category that we've sort of created is called spec to scale. And so it's S to S instead of S to P, and it goes from spec to source, source to supply, and supply to scale. And so there's design intent elements, there's sourcing, there's also ongoing supplier management, and we have to build a flexible system to house it all. Yeah.
And maybe
Talk fast, last 40 seconds.
I know.
building on that, how long does it usually take to generate value?
Well, how long do you need at Bridgestone? No, I'm just joking.
5 days.
5 days? OK, we can do it in 4.9 days. I think the answer is it depends. People right now, what they're doing in their current process is they will run sourcing events, and then they will copy and paste from the email or the award into the ERP to create the POs or the scheduling agreements. So you can actually get started using LightSource by just uploading a CSV with all of your documents. We analyze it with AI, I could get into that later, and then exporting a CSV without any integration. So you can get set up like same day if you have the people ready to start working with us in the change management, but integrations take longer. Thank you very
Time's
much.
up.
Yeah.